Hi, I need you to listen to me because the future of our nation is at stake. Concerning this election, considering this second Super Tuesday, I'm sure you've been watching all the news station, all the media, blaming Donald Trump for a few things that he's said at his rallies that inspires all this protesting, this rowdiness, this violent protesting, somebody even rushing him on the stage, and all the hate. They say it's all because of him, because of the few things that he said. All because of Donald Trump, who inspired all this hatred nationwide. People, listen. Do you think just maybe, not within these last few weeks, Donald Trump, but within the last month and even a year, when Donald Trump first decided to run for the president, it was a joke, it was no big deal, until he became popular. And even now that he's most popular, how many times, well, first of all, the left wing trashing him, we expect that. But how many times do you see the right-wing conservative Republican Party, Mitt Romney, the Speaker of the House, many senators saying Donald Trump is a racist, he's a bigot. If he becomes president, we're going to lose this country. We're going to lose this nation. You hear it on the news. We've been bombarded with this for months and months and months, and it gets more heated as it becomes more of a threat. Do you think maybe that this violence was not caused by a few things that he said, just a few things, but the month after month after month of persecution, of destroying his character, of slander by the Republican Party itself? Anyone but Trump. How about all these other organizations coming against him? Do you think just maybe they come against him because he won't be bought? Because I'm going to self-fund my campaign. I will not take any money from super PACs. I will not be bought off. I will not be a puppet. Did you think that maybe what's at stake here is the Republican Party and the rest of the right-wing conservatives? They need their man in there. Those those oil companies, those pharmaceutical companies, they need their man in there so he will be their puppet, just like the Democrats put in Barack Hussein Obama, who you didn't hear anything about him when he first ran against John McCain, against Hillary Clinton, not a darn thing. Where did he come from? From the money. From the money. And when he became president, they own him. Do you think that just maybe, Donald Trump will not be owned by anybody, and that's why they're coming against him? It's imperative that they make sure he does not become president, that they put one of their people in there, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Kasich, so they will get their political favors? Do you think just maybe? Come on, American people. You're a lot smarter than that. And Democrats, come on. You're a lot smarter than that. And check out Bernie Sanders. Donald Trump is a pathological liar. You notice Hillary Clinton's not saying that. She says, I can't say that. No way. The news media and Donald will just tear me up alive. Because, of course, we know she's a pathological liar. Benghazi, the tapes, the server, and all this stuff. And I can't believe the Democrats still want her to be president. I can't believe it. You really think you could trust her? But hey, whatever the news media tells you, she's a Clinton. Untouchable, right? See, the danger is if she becomes president. Bernie Sanders is not going to become president because of his socialist attitude, and there's no way everybody's going to want free everything because they know the taxpayers are going to know they're going to have to pay for it. But Hillary Clinton can become president. And that's even a more danger. You're talking about, if she becomes president, talk about destroying this nation. She herself said, I'm going to continue with Barack Hussein Obama's presidential values, and what he started, I'm going to finish. Closing Benghazi, taking your guns away, closing Gitmo, taking your guns away, giving free stuff to everybody else, and bringing the immigrants in. Why? Because they want the immigrants to come in because they'll become Democrats, okay, and they'll vote for them. Come on, people, open up your eyes. If you want a politician, go ahead, vote for her. Vote for Marco Rubio. Vote for Ted Cruz or Kasich. But if you want somebody that's not a politician, take a chance with Trump. If we don't like him, in 4 years we could just vote him out. And then the new president will take his executive pen and undo everything that he did. I mean, what the other candidates failed to mention, he's this, he's that, well, and he lost this and he lost that and he went bankrupt here. But, well, are you a billionaire? Mr. Rubio? Mr. Kasich? Mr. Cruz? Have you been that successful? And by the way, they Kasich, what a wonderful man, experienced government. Every time they ask him a question on the debates, every time, well, you know what I did in Ohio, and what I did when I was serving in the Senate and all this, I was head of the Armed Senate Committee, and I did this, and I did that. Shut up. Stop patting yourself on the back. It's disgusting. Well, you know what I did? And these people, all this stuff is because of Donald Trump, starting this rhetoric, this hateful rhetoric. Shut up. The Republican Party, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And any other election, anytime this many people gathered around one candidate, if it wasn't Donald Trump, they'd be for him. They'd all be for him. Oh yeah, the super PACs, you're taking our money, right? They'd be for him. That would be our guy. But because it's Donald Trump, he didn't take their money and won't do political favors for them. They're totally against him. Don't you think that's strange? Everybody, even the ex-president of Mexico, even people in Europe and England, we won't mind to have Donald Trump come in our country. Even the Pope is speaking against Donald Trump. Don't you think that's a little weird? And Christians, you do realize this is a spiritual battle taking place for the White House. You do realize that, don't you? And yes, Donald Trump isn't the perfect Christian. He isn't even really an active Christian, I don't think, but I know he believes. And I look at the way he treats his family and his sons and how they gather with him. There's got to be goodness there somewhere. And after all, did not God in the Old Testament use Pharaoh, who worshiped other gods, to put Joseph in charge of his kingdom to distribute the food and to save it and all that? And what about King Nebuchadnezzar? And many kings of Syria in the Old Testament where the Lord used them. And many of them would say, when things happen, they go, no, the Jewish God, he is the one true God. Open up your eyes, folks. This is so important, especially this Tuesday. This nation's safety is at stake. And to get somebody weak in there, like Hillary. Look at these nations. China is doing everything it can. It's making these islands where there's coral reefs. It's making these islands and putting air bases there and missiles there because they know President Obama won't do squat. He's afraid. Russia's doing the same thing because President Obama won't do squat. Look at Iran after the deal. They're shooting missiles in the air. They're not supposed to do that. That was part of the deal. They don't care because they know President Obama will do nothing. He is a clear and present danger to this nation. And if you vote for Hillary, this nation is doomed. This nation is doomed. And like I say, if you want a politician, listen to Kasich, Cruz, and Rubio. It's the same old rhetoric you've heard time and time again. And for those of you that lived in this country a long time, have you ever seen an election like this? Because in all my life, And you hear it on the TV too. I've been, in this business, news business for 40 years, and I've never seen an election like this in my entire life. Why? Because the importance of this election, in this time, in this place. We need to change this nation. I think Trump will do it. I have faith in the Lord. And I know the other people, no, he's not for them. So my fellow Americans, think before you go to your polls on Tuesday and other states when you go. Look what's going on in the world. Look at the man, Donald Trump, not the rhetoric. And look at how they continue to preach hate, the Republican Party itself, and especially Kasich, Rubio, and Cruz. Oh yeah, this violence, we deplore it, it's wrong, and they shouldn't do this, but didn't Donald Trump start all this? No. You people did in the Republican Party, with all your hate preaching for over a year. Pray on this, people. Think on this. The lives of your children and grandchildren are at stake. So God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.